Hello YouTube, in this tutorial we're going to explain how to create an algorithm that will find the least common multiple of n integers. Meaning this algorithm will find the least common multiple of 2, 3, 4, or 5 integers. So just to refresh our memory, the least common multiple is the smallest integer that is evenly divisible by both a and b. Meaning, if we try to find the least common multiple of 2 and 3, the answer is 6. And if we want to find the least common multiple of 6 and 10, is going to be 13. And there's a ton of information online that will give us the definition of the least common multiple. Alright, so let's start by creating a new project in Visual Studio 2019. This time we're going to choose .NET Core. So we select our project and we're going to call it least common multiple. Alright, we click create. Okay, so first we're going to start by creating our method with its signature. So we're going to call this method, we're going to make this method private, static, and it's going to return an integer. And we're going to call it least common multiple. Now our method is going to take two parameters. It's going to take a search limit, and we're going to take an array of integers. These are going to be the 2 or 3 numbers for which we're going to find the least common multiple. Okay? Now let's define a default value to return if we don't find a least common multiple for the array of integers. So for that, we're going to define a default value, and we're going to assign it to -1, and we're going to return our default value. Okay, so now that we have our method signature, let's create the input parameters to this method. So we're going to call it search limit, and let's set the limit to 10,000. And let's create our array of integers. Let's just start with something easy, 2 and 3. So now let's get our result back. Least common, let's change this, least common multiple. And let's pass our input parameters. Okay, so now let's output into the console the result or the least common multiple of these two integers. So let's write that. We're going to say the least common multiple of, we're going to say integers. Let's join this array. Let's see. Is least common multiple. Okay. And then let's wait in our console read key. Okay. So now we have an interesting method to implement here. We have n integers, in this case 2 of them, for which we want to find their least common multiple. So for that, let's just start by iterating through the numbers, starting from the maximum integer inside of our array until our search limit. So let's start by creating a for loop, and we're going to say here multiple, and our multiple is going to be the maximum value inside of this integer, inside of this array of integers, sorry. So we're going to have here max integer, and it's going to be integers dot max, and then okay, so we're going to use system.link. Now I got this suggestion by clicking or by pressing control dot, and then we can use system.link. So now we're going to start from our maximum integer, and we're going to go all the way up to our search limit. Okay, so now that we're iterating through or from the max integer until the search limit, we need to create a function that will divide our multiple by each of our integers, and the result of that division will be an integer as well. So let's create that algorithm. Also, inside of this for loop, we need to iterate through each of our integers. So we're going to have here integer and integers. So now in here we have to say if our integer is divisible by our multiple, then we have a possible multiple for all of the numbers inside of this array. So let's do that. Let's say if multiple modulo integer is different than 0, then this multiple is not divisible by this integer. So in here we need to create a flag that will tell us whether or not this multiple is divisible by this integer. So let's create a flag out here. Let's call it var is multiple, and let's start with true. Let's assume whatever number or whatever multiple we're testing with is a multiple. And only if the multiple is not divisible by any of the integers inside our array, then we're going to set this flag to false. Okay. So now if we have found a multiple that is divisible by all of our integers, let's return that, because that's going to be our least common multiple. So if is multiple, we are going to return such value. Okay, so let's give this a try. So again, the least common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. So this value should be 6. So let's give it a try. Okay, so here is saying the least common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. So that is correct. Now let's try with 6 and 10. The least common multiple for 6 and 10 is 30. So let's see. Okay, 30. Okay, let's try with some more complicated integers. Let's try this one, for example. 125, 175. 245. So the result of this should be 6,125. So let's try it. Okay, 6,125. So there you go. Now we have our algorithm to calculate the least common multiple of n integers. Okay, so please subscribe to my channel. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. And that is it for today. Thank you very much.